The technical team is in different sites across Finland. It is also active. That's the technical team of Master Simon Ekpa. They are working, but not inside the court. The only people that will be in the court today is only the legal team. So I am saying this so that you'll be very careful with information you will see, because content creators are going to go out their way to try to please you, to try to create content, to tell you this happened and that did not happen. You must be very careful and mind what you're listening to. Be very careful on what you're listening to. Today, court section, as we speak, might have started already, but it is a closed door. If information is going to come out, we should be expecting that in the evening or tomorrow, or maybe it might not even come out at all. Somebody is still asking me what time they are starting. There is no open court today. Today, there's no open. It is a closed door today. Today is a closed door. Nobody is going to know how they start or how they end or how they go about it. Yesterday was an open one. But I believe on the 10th, I think on the 10th again, I heard on the 10th they're going to televise it. Maybe on the 10th, there will be an opportunity for people to come in again and it will become public. But today's sitting and tomorrow is only for the legal team. The prosecuting counsel and the defense counsel, only them are going to be in court today. So we cannot get much information today. Information we are getting today will be towards the evening or tomorrow. And it depends on the conditions that we are given inside the court. Because this is the judicial case. A case that the court doesn't have to be discussed in the public. So you don't expect to see a lot of things today. There's no much actions outside today. But the only thing we need to know is that the court is sitting today. It is sitting. I think they have already started even. The court must have started by now. But it is a closed door. It is a closed door. So if anybody is bringing anything to tell you that Master Simon Ekpa said he did or they did that, please be careful to what you're listening to. Be careful to what you're listening to. As soon as we get a credible information, I will always come here to give it just the way I get it. I'm not going to add. I'm not going to subtract. I'm not going to tell you anything to make you happy. Neither will I tell you anything to make you angry. I am not here to serve anybody or to serve any group. I am here to serve the Biafra and also to serve the public. More especially on the case of Master Simon Ekpa. Make sure that credible informations are carried out. Remember, during when his first court, you begin to see on social media, they begin to create content. Some are saying, came out and said that Master Simon Ekpa denied and say he's a content creator, he's not a leader, he's not a Biafran prime minister. They push it on social media and people went and carried it. Even Nigerian media began to carry it around. Nigerian media begin to carry it. That is why every one of us must be very careful. More especially those of us in media. Be careful what you say. If information is not verified, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. There are people that give us the right information that we know are active in the front. The technical team, if you don't know anybody, you know Dr. Mazanga. He has platform where he gives updates. So when you don't see these updates from credible people, and you just see something from social media, don't even share. Don't share. Because when you are sharing, you are helping to promote those propaganda and lies. We must be very careful the informations we share regarding the case of our Prime Minister and even the case of Mazen Nandekano. Sometimes you see that rumors and lie, they fly faster than any other thing. They go faster than any other thing. That is why we must be very careful. Once an information is not verified, there is no point. Can you just have patience until we get the right information? Just like yesterday's court. Some content creators are using yesterday's court already to say things that did not happen. Some are creating their own content. Some are saying, even people who were in that Finland are now giving information that are misleading. I don't know what they intend to achieve. I do not know what they intend to gain. When you mislead the public, and you know that public opinion in this case of our Prime Minister matters a lot. Public opinion matters. In a case of this kind of capacity, in a case of this magnitude, the kind of case Mazi Simon Ekpa is going through and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going through, this is a case that's in the public. It's a very high classified case, and the public opinion will always count. That is why you see the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu every time Nigerian government will come to the media and create a narrative. You see how they are creating a narrative to destroy the reputation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They hire people, they pay people to continue to attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the public and tag him to be a very bad person. That is why public opinion matters. And those of us in the media, mind what you share. Every one of you that is watching this program as you're watching, my advice to you is that before you share any program, be very careful and know what you share. Listen to it first of all and see if that is true or not. Does it worth sharing? There are some information you share, it becomes negative. It doesn't have anything to add to what we are facing or the case we are going through. Because in the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa, the whole world is paying attention. Nigerian government is glued. They are looking for a and I bet you that any wrong information you push, the first people that will take it and promote it is Nigerian government and their media. Nigerian media will take it as a content. I don't know why we forget so easily. Remember in the lower court, this same Nigerian media, they went and said that Mazi Simon Ekpa said that he is a content creator, which is a lie from the pit of hell. Something that never happened. But all their media, Arise TV, Channel Television, and all the rest of them, every one of them, they carry this lie just to tarnish the image of Mazi Simon Ekpa, just to discredit him. So that is why we have to be very careful. Anytime we are listening to this content, anytime we are focusing on the issue of Mazi Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we should make sure we push verified information. I know so many of us are busy. We don't always have the time to make research online. But at least there are there's still some people you can be able to look at. Not content creator, I mean activists in this Biafra issue. There are so many people who are content creators. Even among us Biafrans, they just create content. They want to attract crowd. They want to attract people to themselves. But there are so many of us who do not care about the crowd. All we care is about the information, credible information. That's what we care about. The truth and nothing but the truth. It doesn't matter how it makes you feel. It might make you angry. It might make you happy. The intention I have here is to make sure you get credible information. So I'm not here to either make you angry or make you happy. No. My duty here is to represent and present to the world what Biafra looks like. Because in my platform, it is not only Biafrans that are watching. There are people that are watching from all parts of the world who wants to know exactly why are we doing what we are doing. There are a lot of people paying attention to the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. I have been called by so many people who are not Biafrans, people who are not even Africans. Some of them have reached out to me to ask me questions on Mazi Simon Ekpa, on the case, on what we feel, on what we think, on what is going on. So when we engage in program here, I am not just talking to Biafrans. I am also speaking to those who are non-Biafrans, people from all parts of the world. All we are asking for is justice. Justice is what we're asking for. All we're asking for from Finland government is fair trial for our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. That's what we're asking for. Fair trial, nothing else. So today being the second day of our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa appeal hearing in Finland, the rule of law, fair trial, and continued support of Biafra is all we want. So I welcome every one of you who have been able to join us today to get an update on what is happening, on what is going on, wherever you are watching from across the world. Welcome once again to our live stream. Thank you for joining us wherever you are watching from. If this is your first time in this channel, kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell, share the broadcast, and make sure you invite others to join us for this important conversation. Because today, being the second day of the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa case, we are discussing an issue that has continued to draw attention to many people across Europe, Africa, America, and beyond. This is what everybody is paying attention to today. Today we are discussing about the update of the day 2 of Prime Minister Simon Ekpa appeal here in Finland. The need for the rule of law, fair trial, and the commendable support shown by Biafrans. The commendable support shown by Biafrans in Finland. As always, this discussion we are having today is intended to examine public development and broader legal principles. Court proceedings are ongoing, and no one should presume the outcome before judicial process has concluded. None of us, we should not presume the outcome before the judicial process has concluded. Any factual updates should be based on information that has been publicly reported or officially confirmed. I know why I'm saying this. Because Nigerian government will capitalize on our mistakes. Nigerian government will bounce on the wrong information that we, the Biafrans, are going to put out there. Every democratic society rests upon one important foundation: the rule of law. Every democratic society rests upon one important foundation: the rule of law. The rule of law means that every person, regardless of status, popularity, or public opinion, is entitled to have legal matters decided according to established laws and through an independent court process. That is what the rule of law says. So it does not matter whether it is a black man, it is a white man, a Biafran, a Nigerian, an European, an American, whoever it is, the rule of law must be followed. The rule of law must be followed. This principle exists not only in Finland, but also in democracies around the world. Why we are hammering and speaking upon it is because of the case of Manchester. You see, when it comes to Nigeria, you know that there is no rule of law in Nigeria. In Nigeria, people are not entitled to their opinion. You are not entitled to freedom of speech. You might have freedom to speak in Nigeria, but at the end of the day, you will not have freedom to explain. So there's no rule of law. But we thank Chukwu that at least Finland is in a Western world, can be associated with a developed country, a member of the European Union, and to an extent, Europe have developed to a level where the rule of law should be respected to the last. That is why we are calling out on this issue, so that the Finland authorities should know that they don't have to depend on a lawless country like Nigeria. You don't have to depend on information and pressure coming from a lawless country. Before ever you consider pressure from a country or you consider information of a country, you have to first of all look at the background of that country, what they offer. A country that is telling you to prosecute your own citizen, look at their own country. How do they manage their country? How is their country being run? What is the rule of law? How are they handling the rule of law in Nigeria? For them to stand and face somebody who is living in a Western world, who has never had any case in a court one day. He has never been to court with anybody. Until Nigeria came in, a lawless country, without obedience to the rule of law. Look at what they are doing in the case of Mazen Nandekano. The people that have refused to obey their own law, where their courts say, let Mazen Nandekano go, they refused to allow him. Instead, they took him back to start the court afresh. In Nigeria, Mazen Nandekano won his case. The judges in Nigeria, three judges unanimously acquitted Mazen Nandekano. 3 judges, not one. 1, 2, 3 judges. Nigerian judges, not Biafra judges, acquitted Mazen Nandekano. But what did they do? They sacked those judges, removed them, and they brought a different people. And they continued to hold Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And they took him back to start the case afresh. They amended the cases, amended the charges to the extent that even when it got to the time of conviction, they still use a non-existing law to convict Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. A repeat law was used to convict Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And that was why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was using the popular language, show me the law upon which you are convicting me. Show me the law. Show me the law. So how can a lawless country like Nigeria now be the country that will give you an evidence against an innocent citizen of yours, and you won't scrutinize it properly? You won't look at it properly. That is why we are saying the rule of law must be obeyed. And the rule of law says, regardless of status, regardless of popularity, regardless of public opinion, everyone is entitled to have legal matters decided according to the established laws and through an independent court process. That is what the rule of law says. And that is what we are expecting from Finland. Whether one agrees or disagrees with an individual's political views, the legal process should remain fair, impartial, and based on evidence presented before the court. We are saying this to remind Finland that the world is watching. Let's assume they have made a mistake in the past in their lower court. And at this point, in the lower court, attention were not there. It was just like a mushroom court and they did what they had to do. But now that international communities are watching and looking closely, it is an opportunity for Finland to redeem themselves and do what is right. Because one of the evidence that shows that there was no fair trial in the lower court is that no evidence was accepted from Simon Ekpa and Joko. There is no way you can call that a fair trial. You cannot be charging somebody on terrorism and you refuse to admit his own evidence without a reason. The only reason you gave is that the evidence is provided is very horrible. You can't watch it. And you are charging someone for terrorism. In a terrorist case, are you expecting to see somebody licking ice cream or somebody drinking water? You are expecting to see people drinking Pepsi. Is that what you expect to see? We believe that the right thing will be done in this time. We strongly believe that there are still good men and women in this world. There are still good men and women everywhere, including in the United Kingdom, including the US. There are still good men everywhere. And justice will be done this time. Whether one agrees or disagrees with an individual's political view, the legal process should remain fair, impartial, and based on evidence presented before the court. That is one of the central ideas we will discuss today. When we talk about appeal, so many of us, all we hear is appeal and appeal and appeal. Sometimes we need to sit back and ask ourselves, what is an appeal? We need to sit back and ask, what is appeal? Many people hear the word appeal without fully understanding what it means. An appeal is not a completely new trial. An appeal is not a completely new trial. Instead, an appeal court, aspect of an alien decision to determine whether legal errors may have affected the outcome. An appeal is not a completely new trial. Instead, an appeal court reviews aspect of an alien decision to determine whether legal error may have affected the outcome. Depending on the legal system and the issue raised, the court may review legal reasoning. procedural questions or other matters permitted under the law. So, for those who might not understand, this is not a new case. It's an appeal, a continuation of the case that is already existing. What the court is doing is to review. The appellate court reviews aspect of an earlier decision. And we know there are so many aspects of that earlier decision that need to be reviewed. Most importantly, the evidence. Who brought those evidence? The counter evidence. Why wasn't it looked at? Why wasn't the counter evidence looked at? What is the source of evidence? Who were those? Somebody like Malami, who is now facing terrorist charge in Nigeria, cannot provide evidence to prosecute somebody on terrorism. Malami, who they found AK-47, who is found fingered in sponsorship of terrorism in Nigeria today. The same man was the one that was involved in kidnapping of man against international law from Kenya. If such individuals are fingered in the prosecution of Master Simon Ekpa providing evidence, that evidence cannot be credible. There is no way on this planet Earth that any sensible government or court will admit such evidence. So we believe that the appellate court has to review every aspect of the earlier decision to determine whether legal errors, we know there are legal errors, which affected the outcome of the 6 years that were handed to Master Simon Ekpa, depending on the legal system and the issue raised. One of the issues that you and I know that have been raised, the major issue that have been raised, which even Dr. Masanga spoke about. Many of you must have watched the program of Dr. Masanga, which I also played here, where he made references to loopholes on the evidence that was presented against Master Simon Ekpa. We believe that the court will review legal reasoning, procedural questions, and other matters permitted under the law. An appeal is therefore an important safeguard within many judicial systems. And we need to use this safeguard and use it wisely. That is why, even before now, I've been shouting of how important it is. I've been saying it: if you can pray, pray. If you can support financially, do. If you can support morally, do so. Whatever you know you can do to support, financially, morally, spiritually, in any way, because it's an opportunity of a lifetime. Opportunity of a lifetime. If we miss it, we might not have it again. So we use that opportunity to unleash every arsenal in us to make sure that things are done right. Today, as we speak, Finland legal system is receiving global attention. Finland legal system is receiving global attention as we speak. And the reason is because Finland has long been recognized internationally. The reason today Finland legal system is receiving international attention is because Finland has long been recognized internationally for judicial independence. You see why we are saying there is room for corrections. Everything cannot be about economic interest, political interest. No. The reputation of the country is on the line. The reputation of Finland is on the line. And why the international communities, why Finland legal system is receiving international attention today is because Finland has long been recognized internationally for judicial independence, transparent legal procedure, respect for constitutional rights, adherence to international human rights obligation, due process protection. These are what Finland is known for. But you know, anything that comes in contact with Nigeria destroys. Anything that comes in contact with Nigeria becomes a different thing. This is an opportunity for Finland to redeem itself and put itself back on track where they belong, to clean their record. I just told you what they are known for. The entire world, what they know Finland for. And that is why the whole world is paying attention. The same Finland that is known for judicial independence, transparent legal procedure, respect for constitutional rights, adherence to international human rights obligations, due process protection. That is what Finland is known for. And Nigeria, what are they known for? What are they known for? You know that judicial system in Nigeria is not independent. The judicial system in Nigeria is not transparent. Nigeria does not respect their own constitution. And everything I'm saying is based on fact. Look at the case of Mazin Nandekan. Their law says that you cannot prosecute any man without an existing law. Before a man will be prosecuted, will be found guilty or convicted, a man must be convicted with an existing law. But against their constitution, they convicted Mazin Nandekan with a repeat law. That is Nigeria. Nigeria do not adhere to any international obligation, human rights obligation. They don't. Because if they do, they will not go to Kenya and kidnap Mazin Nandekan. If they do, they will not be committing genocide in Biafra land. You know that in Nigeria, there is no due process. They don't have due process, let alone protecting it. They don't have due process. So how can two countries that is in opposite direction, how can these two countries in opposite direction be working in accord against an innocent man? How do you explain that? How can two countries in opposite direction come together to work against an innocent man? It's a question that needs to be answered. And I'm asking Finland or anybody that's affiliated with Finland. That is why it's essential. And the world is watching to see what they are going to do. The world is watching to see. And that is why at the end, all the shenanigans they are doing will televise and the whole world will see what they have done. Nothing will be hidden in the case of Simon Ekpa. Finland legal system is receiving international attention. And this very case is going to put them, either to put them on the top or put them on the bottom. It's left for them. They should choose either to go high or to go to the lowest of the low. These things that I mentioned are among the reasons why observers are paying close attention to the proceedings of Simon Ekpa, and they will continue to pay attention. Many supporters hope, many of us that are supporting Simon Ekpa today, we are hoping that these principles that Finland are known for, will continue to guide the case of Simon Ekpa. That is our hope. We hope that these principles that are known for Finland, principles of judicial independence, principles of transparency in legal procedure, principle of respect for constitutional rights, principle of adherence to international human rights obligation, principle of due process protection. We believe and hope that regardless who is concerned, whether a black person, a Biafra or non-Biafra, that these principles will continue to guide the case of our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. That is what we're asking for. Nothing else. Nothing else. We're not asking for any special treatment. Why there are some people also across the world who are watching to better understand how the legal process unfolds. The whole world is paying attention. This is a global case. It is not just about Finland. The world is watching and they are aware. My joy is they are aware. We, the Biafrans, we did a great job to highlight the case and make it a global issue. We did a great job. Regardless what the zoological reform we are doing, we did a great job on our part. And I applaud every Biafran that have contributed in one way or the other to make our voice heard. The importance of fair trial. One of the oldest principles of justice is that everyone deserves fair hearing. One of the oldest principles of justice is that everyone, no matter who the person is, deserve a fair hearing. And a fair trial generally includes the opportunity to be represented by legal counsel. The opportunity to be represented by legal counsel. We believe that full opportunity must be granted to Master Simon Ekpa. The ability to challenge evidence according to legal procedure. This is one of the most important aspects that we want Finland to activate and listen to. In order to have a fair trial, there must be that allowance. There must be an ability to challenge evidence according to legal procedures. The opportunity to present a defense. The opportunity to present a defense. Hearings before an independent and impartial court. Independent and impartial court, not like the court you have in the Zoological Republic, where a call will come from the presidency and the whole thing will change, where there is no judicial independence. To an extent, we have seen that judicial independence is one of the qualities of Finland's judicial system. So we want them to uphold it and hold on to it, regardless who is concerned. They should uphold it. Decision must be taken based on law and admissible evidence rather than emotion or political pressure. This is another important one. And this is one of the things, the most important thing we are calling for. If they want to show us that they have fair trial, one of the most important things we are talking about, the ability to challenge every single evidence provided must be challenged according to legal procedure. Our Prime Minister is also a lawyer. So I know why I'm hammering this. The ability to challenge evidence. These are what makes up a fair trial. Another one is decision based on law. Every decision they will take after all said and done, the decision depends on them. I am not going to take decision. My sister will not take decision. Biafra will not take decision. The decision is on the law. The judge will take decision. So let the decision be based on law and admissible evidence rather than emotion. Don't look at emotion or political pressure. Because as we speak, we know that the political pressure is mounting. You know, Nigeria can lobby a country that can pay $9 million, $9 million, just to cover the fact that Christians are being murdered in Nigeria, even when it is obvious. The same people that want to lobby have come on the ground to see things with their own eyes. The people they are lobbying with $9 million have come to see it, and still yet they went ahead to pay $9 million to blind them and say we didn't see what we saw. That is how far Nigeria can go. Now you can imagine the kind of pressure they will be putting on the Finland court. They will go to any extent. They will go to any length. So that is why we are hinting on this. Decision must be based on law and admissible evidence rather than emotion or political pressure. These principles are intended to protect the integrity of the justice system. If you want us to know that you have integrity and you are straight, these things must be followed accordingly. Due process is very important. Due process in any case, it does not matter who is involved, whether a black man, a white man, a foreigner, a local. Due process is very important. Due process protects everyone, not only defendants in high-profile cases. Due process protects everybody, whether white, black, poor, rich, low, high. Due process protect everyone. Without due process, public opinion could replace evidence. That is the danger. Without due process, public opinion, and this is what we see in Nigeria, because Nigeria has no due process. They use the media to create an opinion, and when they use the media to create opinion, the judge will be acting on the opinion of the people. This is what we see in Nigeria. In the case of Mazen Nandekano, you see them over and over using the media to create opinion. They tried this in the case of Mazen Simon Ekpa. When they came to tell us that Mazen Simon Ekpa said that he's just a content creator, that he's not a Biafra agitator. Neither is he fighting for Biafra. A lie from the pit of hell to create an opinion and to distance him from the struggle and make him isolated so that they can be able to trash him. But the Biafrans continue to stand within Gidigba. Even today, the IPOB members are supporting Mazen Simon Ekpa. Many of their media, I've seen many of their media warriors promoting Mazen Simon Ekpa